Hello and welcome to the Elite Four of Blueberry Academy. First up is Crispin, but I like to joke about it and call him Crispan. Like the first time I heard his name, the first thing I thought of was, is his name supposed to be a Crispan? Only it sounded better if they said pin instead of pan. A Crispan. I hate it. But of course, enough with the name. Crispin is the first Elite Four member. He specializes in fire types, and yet he has a grass type with him. But I'll get to that when I get to that. For now though, I want to talk a little bit more about his character, in the sense of what you get out of him before you battle him. And the first time you meet him is in the cafeteria with the other Elite Four members plus Champion. He is behind everybody else, not to mention the weakest of the bunch. He is fine with the player character joining the club because, well, you are a trainer nonetheless, and participating as if you're a student here, so why not? Funny enough, of the four that walked in for the Elite Four plus Champion, he's also the last Elite of the four. Well, I guess I shouldn't say the Elite Four, but 3 of the Elite Four members. In any case, the next time you talk to him is when you do his gym challenge. On one hand, I understand why they want us to make a spicy sandwich, but on the other hand, it would have made more sense it to not be a sandwich, but maybe something like a stir fry or something. I don't know. Something that uses a frying pan? The gimmick of this game is to make sandwiches, so that's why. But that doesn't mean that it doesn't feel a bit out of place. But I suppose a sandwich is easier to make, in which case it is in favor of sandwich, even though his design screams, use a pan, right? Well, after completing the gym challenge and having his approval on the spice, well, I guess the pain that took over, but we do chat with him a little bit before we go into our battle, and he does explain that he prefers people to be more direct. Of course, then there is his suspicions on Drayton and what he's planning on. This definitely bothers him, as this bothers Crispin because everything becomes complicated and he doesn't know what's going on. And so Crispin does not like to sweat the small details, and so he explains, and so he yells at us to just do it, whatever we're wanting to do. It's not like we're hesitating to do anything, it's just there's an order in which we need to do things. And well, if he wants battle, he wants battle. Just leave things simple, just like that. Now, I don't mean to be rude or anything, but sometimes you want to, but the other person makes it a little bit more difficult. And I am pretty sure you understand that. Well, I understand you tell us to just do it, and that's fine, but aren't you being a little hypocritical? I mean, you have a crush on Lacey, and you don't even want to tell her that. Then again, any normal person will have some level of hypocrisy within themselves, I guess. I'm not saying that it's a good thing, but it is a common thing. In any case, here comes the battle. He leads with Talonflame and Rotom Heat. He had with Camera Up, Magmortar, Executor, and Blaziken in the back. On the one hand, Executor makes sense if you want to counter water types, but it makes even more sense because Talonflame has Sunny Day, with Executor having Chlorophyll, which doubles its speed under Sunny Day. Plus, Sunny Day halves the damage of any water type moves, thus being an excellent counter to water. However, Grass is also super effective to ground and rock, which Fire is also weak to. I try to see if there's any significance to his team other than it being a Fire pseudo Sun team, and I don't really have much. I mean, Executor could be in his team, maybe connecting herbs and spices? I don't know. And they have Blaziken, who's a fire chicken. Rotom Heat is kitchen appliance, so that could work in that regard. And I suppose Magmortar is his personal stove. When it comes to Camera Up and Talonflame, I'm not entirely sure. I mean, I guess Talonflame is another bird to cook, I guess. Camera Up is a camel, so I'm not entirely sure where to go from there. But I guess maybe another meat dish or something? Stretching it, I know. But I do enjoy trying to see if there's any more significance to it, even though there probably isn't. But you never know. Now, is there any reason for Blaziken to be his ace? I don't know. Well, when you look at the other fire Pokemons we brought in, most of them are starter Pokemons. And honestly, I guess Blaziken will make the finest dish of all of them. So I guess that's why he has in his team, and I guess that makes it worthy of being his ace. Well, the next closest thing I could think of is maybe Borg, because pork. But I guess chicken is just better, and then I guess the others are just not gonna be universal foods, is why. I'm gonna stop before I dig my own grave. Well, after you beat him, you get Temper Flare. I don't know if there's any real connection in why he has it, other than it's a new fire type move, but let's take a crack at this. So, one thing that comes to mind is, since he likes to keep things simple, a way to look at this is to just try again. But it also could be referring to maybe adjusting the heat on an oven or stove or something of the sort. It certainly doesn't have anything to do with his love life, considering that he's too shy to even confess his love. But maybe it'll kick in after someone else makes their move. But who knows? I almost forgot. Why isn't Magmortar Crispin's ace? It follows around him all over the place. And it is his own personal stove. There's a lot of good reasons why he should be his ace. Just saying. But I guess his ace is the food he makes. Sorry, Blaziken. Well, I really don't have much else to say about Crispin. So, I guess we're going on to the next Elite Four member, Maris. The way she speaks sometimes, it has a kind of a robotic feel to it in the word choices. Of course, not completely and all the time, but strange. Almost as if she tries a little too hard to be formal, that she comes off strange and unnatural. But even then, formality sounds a bit odd. Doesn't feel right. An interesting touch to her character is that she strives on being perfect. Hence her effort in how she communicates with other people, as well as, say, movement. And she believes in her ability to flawlessly carry out her duty as the Elite Four member. But maybe I'm getting ahead of myself here, because there's an earlier point in which we do meet her, and that is with Carmine. Although there really isn't all that much, we'll be real here. Just maybe some small talk, and that's about it. The only real thing I could think about was what a strange girl she is. And that's about it, I guess. Then we have the cafeteria scene with her, and she was one of the people who said no. The player character is not allowed to join because they're not an actual student here at the Blueberry Academy. Rules are rules. And yet, here we are doing her gym trial, and she is obliging to the acceptance into the Blueberry Battle League, Blueberry Academy Battle League? Well, the BB League, which allows me to participate in the gym trials and potentially be champion. Now, I'm not entirely sure why flying is her gym challenge, but I suppose it has to do with technology. And in a way, one of the greatest achievements is being able to fly. And she has Metagross, who flies. But wait, you don't know that. I haven't gone through her team yet, which are Alolan Dugtrio and Skarmory as lead. Then has Ranunculus, Empoleon, Caesar, and Metagross in the back. And well, she keeps her Pokemons in heavy balls, because Steel types tends to be quite heavy, so I guess it would be easier time catching them. Speaking of Pokeballs, Crispin, he has his Pokemons in Quick Balls, which makes sense since he wants to cut straight to the point. He doesn't want any fluff. Makes me wonder what he thinks about souffles, but that's besides the point. Honestly, I don't really know if there's any reason why she has the teams that she does, other than, for the most part, they're Steel types, with the exception of Ranunculus. Well, part of her theme is technology, right? So, there's that. But there's also her gym trial being flying. So you could make maybe an argument, say, Alolan Dugtrio flies through the ground, Skyrim flies through the sky, same as Metagross, and Empoleon flies through this water. Caesar is kind of weird, doesn't really do that, but has priority moves that people like to use on it. I don't know, but I guess there's parts in the anime where we do see Caesar in the air, so maybe that counts. And Ranunculus, well, fly through areas, let's just say, places. Yeah, I know, it's a stretch, but That's what I'm here for. Metagross is her ace. Well, moving on to her ace, which is Metagross. And I'm not entirely sure why it would be her ace. Well, the only thing I could think of is that it's a pseudo-legendary, which honestly is reason enough. But is there more reason to it? You know? I don't know. As far as I can tell, there's nothing else other than it's a pseudo-legendary. So after we beat Amaris, she does believe that our will to save Kieran is greater than hers since we beat her. Which, I don't know how true that is, but I don't want to be rude to her. So, I picked the nicer option. Then she gives us one of her favorite moves, Hard Press. There are jokes to be made, I don't want to make them. And well, I guess the move Hard Press is mainly related due to the kind of Pokemon she has. More specifically, her ace being Metagross. But I guess, never mind. I suppose you were crushing them with your natural strength. Honestly, I have really nothing that relates this to her. Maybe in the sense of choices, but even that's, I'm not sure if it really works at all. And I guess that's about it with Amaris. Wait, hold it, Drayton. Your time will come soon enough. Kieran, you're in a different video. Or will be. Go on now. I need to go on to the next Elite Four member. And that is Lacey, the first one that we meet after coming to the academy. She shows us around, but also the one who gave us, but also she is one to give us something fun to play with. But anyways, she does have us do a little test battle where she uses Plusle and Minum. And then randomly she has Excadrill. Well, at first she was against showing you around. She thought about the pros and cons, well really pros, and said yes. Because who doesn't want to be the first to show the student around that everybody's talking about? Bragging rights. Didn't think she'd be the one to go for bragging rights, but here we are. She shows us around. She tried to show off that she can terrestrialize, but she realized her mistake there. I'm from Paldea. How's that special at all? On my first day, because I'm a Marisu, I got the ability to terrestrialize my Pokemon. Then we have Crano. Then we have Crano wanting both Lacey and I do a battle, also exposing that her father is a gym leader in Unova. With some digging, you'll find out that it's Clay, the ground gym leader. And you know what that means? She leads with Plusle and Minum. I know, right? Not what you're expecting. But guess what? Who she has in the back? Excadrill. Now that makes sense if Clay is her father. The question comes is, does this have anything to do with her actual team as the Elite Four member? Only one of them, Excadrill. But as strange as having Plusle and Minum as her leads, it could hint towards the fact that her hometown is Nimbasa City, which is where Alessa, the electric gym leader, is. There could be implications there, but I don't know. So it makes sense that she has both Plusle, Minum, and Excadrill. Of course, it could be someone who looks up to Alessa and also has electric type Pokemons. But we need to carry on with the video, so she makes us go to class. Wow, it felt so wrong, even though this is what we should be doing. I don't want to do this anymore. After you catch the alone Pokemon that you need, you can finally start playing the game. And by that I mean grind up your BB points. But besides that, the next time we meet her is in the cafeteria. She's also one of the ones that said no to me joining the league, because I come from a different school. She also gave Drayton the X because that is no good, whatever it's trying to do. And so next up is her gym challenge. And do you know what her gym challenge is? A quiz. Why is it a quiz? You know, I was tempted to say that she puts her head on Grample's mouth as a pillow because it'd be funny. But to proceed, we have to proceed. So there you go, stomach. So then here we are with the battle. What I do find interesting though, right before we actually do the battle, she does talk about some of the weaknesses of fairy types. Probably relating to the fact that we just did a test, which may suggest that she has has some resemblance to a teacher idea. Then we fight. She leads with Whimsical and Granbull. Then she has Galarian Slowbro, Primarina, Alcremie, and Exegil in the back. This time she has two Pokemons that are not of her type, being Galarian Slowbro and Excadrill. What is interesting is that she has a male Excadrill, while the rest of her Pokemons are females. While Crispin and Amaris had their own specific gender as matching their Pokemons, with the exception of Metagross, which is gender neutral, but that's besides the point. I should also, before I forget, I do want to mention that she has her Pokemons in Nest Balls, which is quite interesting. I'm not entirely sure why they're Nest Balls, other than maybe the idea of having small little creatures or like fairies and stuff, which is why Nest Balls would work in the sense of like having weaker Pokemons. But fairy typing is one of the strongest in the game, so it is a little weird. And well, I guess the Pokemons she does have, for the most part, aren't really that threatening as base form or their basic form. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure if there's anything else I can think of that would make Nest Balls make sense. Well, considering that Lacey likes cute things, Whimsical is a gigantic puffball. Not sure about Granbull, but I guess she likes... I'm not sure. I mean, maybe because it's pink. No, I don't know actually. I really don't know. I mean, in terms of pink, it looks kind of more... It's more purple than pink. And I mean, I guess Granbull might be one of those weird scenarios where someone finds something like this cute. Same with Galarian Slowbro, I guess. And again, Galarian Slowbro has more of a rounder look to it, and it would make more sense to be seen as cute than Granbull, I guess. Primarina is interesting in the sense that it's not necessarily cute, or at least that's the idea. The idea is more of like beauty, considering that it's a siren, so I am not sure. And then we have Alcremie, who's, well, a pastry, and does look cute. Well, conventionally cute, we'll say. And then we got Excadrill, the only male of the group. Wait, does that mean it gets a harem? Oh well. Excadrill's in here because of Clay. But there might be some other reasons, like, say, in the anime, Iris uses Excadrill. That's another girl that uses Excadrill. I mean, it might have something to do with something being ferocious, being cute, I guess? I don't know. Some people have some weird ideas of what is cute. And it looks, I think what they were trying to do with, trying to go a little bit into that with Lacey. But I don't think completely, since most of the things that she finds cute is what a lot of people would agree is cute. Well, I suppose that each of the Pokemon's basic evolution is cute, I guess. The only one that makes it kind of difficult to say that is Snubbull, I guess. Well, I mean, then there's the actual fight where Galarian Slowbro and Excadrill do counter the counters of fairy typings. And well, she terrestrializes Excadrill into fairy. But, so he's the only one where the Pokemon the Elite Four terrestrialized is not of the typing of their specialty. And well, after you beat her, she exclaims at how cute everything was. Now, this definitely makes me question about what does she actually find cute. Then she gives us the TM11 voice, and I am not entirely sure how this fits in with her character. Maybe it has something to do with Japanese culture and cuteness rules the world? I don't know. But well, there's a problem with that, because Unova is based off of New York for the most part. And well, that's America, not Japan. And she's from Unova, which is America, so that's a little too flimsy. Maybe a loving voice has something to do with her being an approachable person? I don't know, maybe. It could also be that her cuteness attracts all sorts of people, but I'm still not entirely sure about that. And oh wait, Drayton's here again. Come on, wait your turn. Well, I guess we can just start on you now. Man, you really are impatient. So, our first interaction with him is with Carmine. After we have been exposed to what happened to Kieran, we are here with Drayton, greeting us with his presence. From here, he takes us to the BB League Club. Well, there's really nothing important here, so moving on to the cafeteria scene. He is so lazy that he likes food that he doesn't have to chew on. In any case, this date of his is mainly due to the need to have us join the league. And as aforementioned before, Crispin said yes. Amaris said no. Lacey said no. And while Drayton's plan is to have us join the BB League, he's an obvious yes. And while he does get Kieran to agree to it as well, technically it's against the rules. But this goal is student-led, so hence the voting. Because for some reason, kids get to decide some of the rules and has authority. Look at that receptionist, terrified, the champion. Has a feeling of, oh, you must obey the champion kind of vibe. Oh wait, this is Kieran. We're gonna talk about that later in a different video. Maybe. In any case, Drayton, he is showing us a bit around, trying to get us comfortable. Drayton, very relaxed kind of person. And can be a little sneaky in trying to get his way. Even the receptionist mentioned that. Well, in any case, after beating each of the Elite Four members, he comes and chats with us a little bit, checking out our progress, and telling us a little bit about each of the Elite Four members. Considering that he checks in on us as well as lets us know about the other Elite Four members, this tells me that he cares about friendships a lot. And well, part of the reason, or really the main reason, that he wanted us to join the league is to beat Kieran and hopefully change him back to how he was before. Because he is not capable of doing it himself and sees potential in the player to do so. This goes in line with a lot of things he does, like share snacks and whatnot, and as well as a gym trial. The rules are simple. You have to first use Pokemons in the Terraria, and second, it has to be the player themselves to have caught them. This, in a sense, is about making new friendships in one sense, and growing it from there. And well, he lets us do his gym trial for free, which I suspect is both because he sees us as a friend, as well as we are his best shot at helping Kieran get back to his senses. Then we had the battle with Drayton himself. His team consists of Dragonite and Flygon as lead, and then Kingdra, Haxorus, Sceptile, and Archelodon in the back. What is interesting is that half of his team is female while the other half is male. Dragonite, Kingdra, and Haxorus are female, while Flygon, Sceptile, and Archelodon are male. I thought about why the split might be, and if there's any particular reason for each of the Pokemons to be the gender that they are, but honestly, I came up with nothing for the most part. But I guess we can give it my best shot, and that is, there are characters that are female that do use Dragonite, but Lance is probably the most notable user, and he's a guy. I mean, I guess you have Claire and Anime Iris using Dragonite. Claire also uses Kingdra, so I guess that makes sense in that regard. But Haxorus is weird. I guess Iris? But you also have Drayton, who is his grandfather, funny enough, with the Haxorus. Then when you go to the male Pokemons, I honestly am not sure. The only one that I can think of is Archelodon, where you have Raihan using Duraludon as his ace. And it is also a double battle, so there's that. And then there's Flygon and Sceptile, where I don't really think there's any notable characters using them so much. I mean, I guess I could be wrong, but there probably isn't any particular reason why they are the gender that they are. But the split between male and female might have something to do with friendship. What I find interesting is that he has his Pokemons in Pokeballs, the standard plain Pokeballs. And one way to look at it is that having them in Pokeballs may imply that these are Pokemons he caught early on and raised them and takes care of them. Standard Pokeballs are the first ones you get, and the friendship that is built upon from starting from scratch to the final stage, or I guess the final evolution, it can be seen as a symbol of friendship, so to speak. And well, frankly, he's too lazy to get anything other than Pokeballs, probably. And well, after you beat him, he congratulates us and gives us Dragon Cheer. And this TM I find to be easier to make a connection with Drayton as opposed to some of the other Elite Four members in their TM. The simple, most easiest way to think about it is that Drayton is too lazy to do the work himself, but he doesn't really mind being a cheerleader in the sense of giving moral support. Kieran drops by, but he is for a different video, so moving on. Then we have the part wherein we beat Kieran, where Crispin could not read the room properly and celebrated a bit, only for Lacey to tell him to be able to read the room. Then you have Amaris standing there not sure what to do, and Drayton took his chance to just walk in and congratulate both of them for the battle, and also wants Kieran to change his ways and enjoy Pokemon battles for the sake of enjoying them. Pokemon battles are not only about winning. And then the other Elite Four members chime in and wants to know how we should proceed considering that the player is from a different school, and now that they're champion, well, that would more than likely mean we would shift over the placements. It did not hit Crispin until Lacey points it out, but if Kieran joins the Elite Four, then Crispin will be kicked out of the Elite Four since the player character is now champion. But before we can finish, we have some interruptions going on, and that is Miss Briar. Nothing too important here except for the fact that Drayton is a part of this. He was one of the select few students to join her in this expedition. Of course, he's too lazy to go, plus he did his job since both player character and Kieran are going to be together, and hopefully that will mend things. Although, Drayton doesn't exactly say he doesn't want to go, but rather makes up an excuse. And well, that's about it for each of the Elite Four members. They do flesh out each of the characters, primarily Drayton and Lacey to an extent. The others not as much, but it is there. I wouldn't call them bland characters, but rather limited in what we know about them. Again, only Drayton and Lacey do we have a decent understanding. And I guess that's about it. See you next time, and goodbye.